Hello everyone, it's Agnes coming to you with another flower project. This time, this flower is going to be Valentine's oriented. So I would like to have some fun with the heart from the Dollar Tree. Okay, before we start, we need to do some prep work. So I would like to remove that shiny decoration of the Dollar Tree heart and expose the frame. The whole removal process is super fun and super easy. As you can see, this is all just simply wrapped around those little spiky things all around it. But okay, so now it's all removed, and I do wanted to bring a piece of the wire into my heart. And I do wanted to create like a little stem right there. My whole point is to have this heart flower floating. So I really wanted to bend it here and there, and I just do want to make sure that it's not too long. But we will decide about that later. So now let's cut our felt. I am positive you're thinking right now, what is wrong with Agnes? She is just making zigzags. And yes, that's what I wanted to do. I do wanted to make some wave to it. So I am cutting, all random strips, obviously not even. I would say the biggest of mine was around maybe 1.5 inches. And just because my heart, the whole frame was on the smaller side, I do not need any bigger pieces because I do want to do something special in the middle. So I go with the bigger, with the wider, with the narrower, but I think I'm done with the 4 pieces. So here I start. What I like to do here is, especially on the first row, is just simply pleat with the hot glue. I am positive you're thinking, why am I not using thread and needle? I will use one, but for this first row, I do want it to actually use the hot glue and simply pleat, every, 1.5 inches or so around the outside of my heart frame. And it goes pretty easy. So I'm almost done, and look at this. I am going to leave the remaining piece of my fleece, my felt, right at the stem. And then we're going to worry about that finishing edges later. Okay, so the first row is done, and now let's make the second row and the third row much easier. So I am going to use the needle and the thread. Okay, so that's again simply using it maybe another 1.5 to 2 inches, because I do want those pleats to be looser. I don't want them to be as sort of tight as they were in the first row. Okay, so now I do want to make sure that as I install my second layer of the felt, I am still starting at the bump of one of the humps on the heart, and I'm just going to secure them lightly with the hot glue all around. I cannot believe this. I am using the red felt. I was so close to start using a different one, but you know what? I just decided to go for the red. And I have to tell you, I do actually enjoy that red bright color that I see right on my heart. So you see how easy that whole heart installation is. And what I'm trying to do is, as I hot glue my felt, is to make sure that my frame is actually nicely hidden. So as I'm getting closer to the center of my heart, I do have a different idea for that. So I think I'm going to stop at this layer, and then we're going to start to maybe decorate it with the rose. It does look good, but you know what? Before we move on to the center of the flower, let's just work a little bit on the stem and see what we can possibly do. So now look what I'm doing. I'm cutting the completely long and very uneven stripe, and I'm going to just simply stash it in underneath the bottom of my heart and wrap the stem around it. I am trying to wrap as close as I can and try to make sure that I do not have those visible steps. So it is a little bit bending and twisting and wrapping it on the angle, but it is doable. And it's a good idea, of course, is to secure with the hot glue here and there. as I'm wrapping it, I actually am a little bit wary about the stem, the way it looks right now. But you know what? I think I have a plan for that. So, okay, so now let's move on to filling up the middle portion of my heart. For that, I just need a rectangular piece of my felt. So as you can see, is I'm using my brand new spanking new scissors that I'm so excited and they're super fun. And I'm creating a spiral all around that rectangle. I'm holding again around 1.5 inches from the its edge. So have you ever made the rose before out of felt? So here is your chance to learn. So as you notice is I'm starting from the moment where I started to cut my felt, and I secured the little piece with the hot glue, and now I'm just rolling my rose all around and creating a little tube. But as I am going halfway through, what I like to do is just I like to secure with the hot glue and start to fold my rose on a slight angle. That's what I usually do when I deal with the felt. And now look, the flap, the last piece that I cut, is actually my little petal that you can call. So I'm going to secure this with the hot glue, and my first rose is done. Look at this. Look how pretty that rose is. It's going to take a little while, but it does look already pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to try to use additional piece of my felt that I have and fill out that little opening because I do have a feeling that my rose may need a little bit more of a support. So now look, I've cut the same spiral, but this time I'm not going to use it for my rose making, but I'm going to actually use as my last layer on the inside, and slowly, without pleating this time, try to ease up into the heart. That means the actual rose. Wow, I plopped it without not even molding it. Look how pretty that looks. Oh, I just so love it. And maybe I'm going to stick 3 roses. Yeah, that may be an idea. Or maybe I'm just going to leave one and then use those other 2 little ones elsewhere. But we shall see. So, okay, I'm just hot gluing it because I am extremely happy with the way my project is turning out. Notice that I am not really using much of the hot glue. I'm just going to gently pinch it here and there. And now I'm going to introduce a piece of the pick that I bought at the Hobby Lobby. And let me tell you, here goes another new pair of scissors that I got from Fiskars. They are absolutely awesome. They are cutting through metal so far. They're cutting through cardboard without no problem whatsoever. But let's go back to our project. So those little pieces that I cut, I do wanted to wrap around my stem. I do wanted to see where I can position the roses. And of course, I do wanted to incorporate some of those picks around my heart. And of course, as the seasons begin, to change, I'm going to try to accommodate this rose to every single season of the year, wrapping with a different greenery. Okay, so it's time to glue it, the final touches. So I'm securing gently my heart in the middle, and then I am going to put back the picks. But of course, as I am always doing this, my ideas are changing. And this is what I really love about those final touches. I'm not going to actually hot glue them. I'm going to just put them there because I do not want it to destroy my felt. But now, of course, the picks are going to be aligned a little bit different because now, 3 seconds later, I have a different vision. Are you like me, constantly changing your mind? See, I do love them because now I keep, them picking them up as the single pieces versus creating the clusters. But I do wanted to put that big cluster to use right on the top of my heart. And I do wanted to sort of create that illusion of ivy growing through the heart. And of course, because I do have that tiny heart that was on that pig that fell out, I decided to add to the bottom of my stem and then maybe top it off with the rose. And here it goes. Here is the center of my rose, just simply hanging alone. But then, as I was looking at it and trying to make the pictures, I decided that I may actually frame it. So now look what happens. I put that rose in a simple frame, and what a change that is. I absolutely love creating that project. And even though I am not big on color, I actually truly enjoy the whole overall look of this project. So I hope that I inspired you to create one for yourself. So now I would like to invite you to my fellow YouTubers and see what they have ready for you. Thanks again, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.